Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya We'll recite together. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagvat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtake Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all for the Srimad Bhagavatam class, and today we are going to recite from first canto, 7th chapter, 12th verse. First canto, 7th chapter, 12th verse. Parikshitoth rajarshe Janma karma vilapanam Samstham cha panduputranam Vakshe Krishna kathodayam Parikshitoth rajarshe Janma karma vilapanam Samstham cha panduputranam Vakshe Krishna kathodayam Parikshitoth rajarshe Janma karma vilapanam Samstham cha panduputranam Vakshe Krishna kathodayam. Yes, devotees here can listen. Parikshitoth rajarshe
Janma karma vilapanam Samstham cha panduputranam Vakshaye Krishna kathodayam Parikshitoth rajarshe
जन्म कर्म विलापनम संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणां वक्ष्ये कृष्ण कथोदयम्
परीक्षितो राजऋषिसे
परीक्षितोऽथ राजर्षे
जन्म कर्म विलापनम् संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणां
संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणां
वक्ष्ये कृष्ण कथोदयम्
वक्षे कृष्णकथोदयम्. Any devotee would like to recite online? Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
परीक्षितो अथ राजर्षेर्
परीक्षितोऽथ राजर्षे
जन्म कर्म विलापनम् संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणाम्
संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणाम्
अक्षये कृष्ण कथोदयम्
वक्षे कृष्णकथोदयम्. Thank you, Mataji. Word to word meaning. Parikshitah of King Parikshit. Atha
अथा
thus.
दस
Rajarshe
राजऋषे
of the king
of the king
who was the rishi among the kings.
who was the rishi among the kings.
Janma
Janma,
birth.
birth,
Karma
karma,
activities.
activities,
Vilapanam
vilapanam,
deliverance.
deliverance,
Samstham
samstham,
renunciation of the world.
renunciation of the world,
Cha
cha,
and
and
Panduputranam
Panduputranam,
of the sons of Pandu.
of the sons of the Pandu.
Vakshe
Vakshe,
I shall speak.
I shall speak.
Krishna Katha Udayam
Krishna Katha Udayam,
that which gives rise
that which gives rise
to the transcendental narration of Krishna,
to the transcendental narration of Krishna,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Sut Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna and topics of the birth, activities and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst kings, as well as the topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pandu. Purport. Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen souls that he personally incarnates himself amongst the different kinds of living entities and takes part with them in daily activities. Any historical fact, old or new, which has a connection with the activities of the Lord is to be understood as a transcendental narration of the Lord. Without Krishna, all the supplementary literatures like the Puranas, the Mahabharata are simply stories or historical facts. But with Krishna they become transcendental. And when we hear of them, we at once become transcendentally related with the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is also a Purana. But the special significance of this Purana is that the activities of the Lord are central and not just supplementary historical facts. Srimad Bhagavatam is thus recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purana. There is a class of less intelligent devotees of the Bhagavad Purana who desire to relish at once the activities of the Lord narrated in the 10th canto without first understanding the primary cantos. They are under the false impression that the other cantos are not concerned with Krishna, and thus, more foolishly than intelligently, they take to the reading of the 10th canto. These readers are specifically told herein that the other cantos of the Bhagavatam are as important as the 10th canto. No one should try to go into the matters of the 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purport of the other 9 cantos. Krishna and his pure devotees like the Pandavas are on the same plane. Krishna is not without his devotees of all the rasas, and the pure devotees like the Pandavas are not without Krishna. The devotees and the Lord are interlinked and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha or topics of the Lord. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. First of all, my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas present here, especially congregation devotees, Varun Prabhu, Kaushal Prabhu, Mataji, Sudhir Prabhu, Vardhan Prabhu. I am feeling very little bit hesitant because this is first time I am speaking in front of senior devotees here, and so I would like to beg them, please pray for me so that I can speak in Parampara and I can please the Vaishnavas present here. And I would like to thank and show my gratitude to my mentor, His Grace Madan Sundar Prabhuji, and all the senior Vaishnavas, those who have given me opportunity to speak here. So, seeking your blessings. Hare Krishna. So, when I was preparing for this lecture, so I was just thinking that why this question is there. So I thought to reflect back. What are those things because of which we are now on this junction of Srimad Bhagavatam? So if we go to the history of Srimad Bhagavatam, then we'll come to know that first it started where 6 questions were asked by sages at Naimisaranya, right? And after that again few questions were asked by sages. Those questions, 6 questions, were answered by Sud Goswami in first 2 chapters, second and third. And again when that questions were answered shortly, actually those questions would be answered elaborately throughout the Bhagavatam. But just for the clarity, for the subject matter, those 6 questions were answered by sages, by Sud Goswami in second and third chapter. Then again we see that questions are being asked. So that is what I see the special opportunity we have got in this Vedic culture and in this culture of hearing which Srila Prabhupada has provided. That every speaker who speaks, at the end they ask, is there any question? So that question is there so that not only other devotees but that person also who is speaking on behalf of Parampara get opportunity to speak more. And he gets, more intensity. When somebody asks questions and if we know, then immediately we become charged to answer that. And even if we don't know, then there is a hope, oh I do not know, let me find out. So again we delve deep into that ocean of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what opportunity we had. And so similarly in the 4th chapter again questions were asked. And to those questions by sages, this answer is coming in this verse. So anyone would like to tell me or share if you remember what were those primarily 3 questions in the 4th chapter. Anyone remembers? For very first question, answer is already done. Now, yes, Parjan Priya Prabhu. Yeah, one of that question was how and what are the activities of that exalted son of Vyasadeva. He was so exalted that he used not to stay less than that time during which a cow is milked. Very special, very elevated personality. So that was question which is actually second or third, whichever we can say. But what was the very first question for which answer has already been given in last 2-3 chapters? We all have gone through? Anyone online? Okay, I'll cover that. So very first question was the history of Srimad Bhagavatam. So to answer that question, it was all given how Vyasadeva, even after writing voluminous scriptures, he was dissatisfied. And after that, second question was in regard of Parikshit Maharaj. So many people might think that why there is so much discussion in Srimad Bhagavatam about history of so many kings. Pandu Putranam, this verse also focuses on Pandu Putranam or Parikshit Maharaj. Those were the kings. So in the first canto, first chapter, second verse, we read about Dharmaha Pranjita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. So Nirmatsaranam Satam means it is not meant for those who are envious. Or other side we can say that it cannot be realized by those who are envious. So whenever we see about kings, kingly duties, generally except pure devotion many things come, like political situation at that time. Even in further chapters we will come to know about some situations which happened, like Aswathama trying to kill Parikshit Maharaj, all the Pandavas using his Brahmastra. So what is that situation? Why it is being asked in narration to Pandu Putra or Parikshit Maharaj? So that we will also discuss in this session. And then that question regarding Parikshit Maharaj. So such a wonderful act of justice, and I would say it's a wonderful act of compassion from Sukadeva Goswami. How? When it was about history of Mahabharata, he could have spoken again voluminously on scriptures, what all scriptures were written, how each scripture was faulty, and then he could have come to the next question. But because he is Paramhamsa, Nirmatsaranam Satam, Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Siddham Tapatrayon Mulinam, right? So then there it comes that this Srimad Bhagavat Puran is relished by those devotees who are always relishing Krishna Katha. So that is what is the connection here. For history of Purana, which could be so many chapters, he just took 2 chapters. And now to speak about Parikshit Maharaj, because from his birth up to his death, it's all about Krishnamaya. When he was about to take birth, inside the womb of Uttara, Krishna was present there, he saved. And at the end, when he was about to die, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna was there. So just to glorify that and to relish it, that's how it is a spotless Puran. There is nothing but just sweet honey, Krishna Katha only. So just to relish that, now further whatever chapters like 7, 8, 9, 10th, 11th, 12th up to 13 chapters around, it's all about up to Parikshit Maharaj. It could be very easily spoken in one chapter or a few verses. But that's how devotees are. They always relish and they want to expand that beauty. Whichever is in relation to Krishna, that is the most beautiful and very pleasing to ear. So that is the history, or that is the background for this second question. And finally third question was asked about in relation to Sukadeva Goswami. So that was answered again in the second canto when we see how he walked around and to whom he met. More elaboration is there. In short, he has discussed, because in between there was short question also. If we go into the 4th chapter, then we'll see in short there was a question about Sukadeva Goswami, and then he moved to Parikshit Maharaj. Then again about Sukdev Goswami, that why did he spoke, what was he doing. So when I was reading about Parikshit Maharaj, I came to know that how it has been spoken about Parikshit Maharaj. I wish if we could share. There is hope, Prabhu, to sharing. So there is fourth chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise I will narrate directly. So there is sequence, like first it was asked why, what happened that such a powerful king who was expanding the kingdom of Pandavas. Pandavas were the most powerful warriors at that time, and their grandson Parikshit Maharaj, he is expanding the whole kingdom like anything. There were no ends, whole earth was like under him. So what is the reason that such a powerful king who had vast kingdom, who was expanding it? Not only that, it has been told that he had no malice for anyone. Every citizen was happy from him. So what was the situation that he had to come and sit on the banks of river? Such an exalted person, one end, and other extremity, like he has to come and sit at the Ganges without clothes. What happened? What is the cause for such situation? So please explain us in detail. So here we find that sages were also very Krishna conscious, and what to speak of Sud Goswami or Sukdev Goswami, that they elaborately told about the pastime of Krishna. Even in this verse, if we go at the top, we see this verse told, this verse is spoken like Krishna Kathodayam. So if you read about that which gives rise to the transcendental narration of Krishna. So in this connection, if we see, Prabhupada clearly tells that why Krishna's topic is, there is a lecture on this of Srila Prabhupada. So there he connects why only Krishna's pastimes are transcendental to the years. Can you please just think upon, what do you think, what is your opinion? There are so many things, like there could be literature about demigods and other people. Why it is given this importance to this Krishna Kathodayam? Any answer, any suggestions? You can raise your hands and speak. Why only Krishna Kathodayam? Yes, Sujita. Okay. Every living entity is having transcendental relationship with Krishna, right? That is one point. Something more? Anyone else here? Or anyone online, you can share or you can speak up after unmuting yourself. Why only Krishna Katha? There could be Indra Katha directly. There could be Varun Katha. Yes, Neeraj Prabhu.
Only Krishna can allow us to out of this Janam Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So when we hear this, so we can go to
Okay, very nice point. Krishna is there who can actually remove us from this bondage of. Yes, Chitra Sachi Mataji.
कृष्ण की कथा में कोई भी स्क्रिप्चर्स पूर्ण नहीं है.
This is very nice point. This is, now we are going closer. Without Krishna, Prabhupada writes also, without Krishna, no other scripture is complete. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, anyone online who wants to say? Yes, Mataji.
He's all attractive, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Krishna is all attractive. That is also the point. So these two things which I was
Hare Krishna.
already.
Hare
Who
Krishna.
spoke? Last
Chintamani.
answer you gave?
Chintamani.
Yes, Mataji,
Mataji.
please go ahead, please. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The thing is Lord is only transcendental. The others are not transcendental like Indra, Varun and all. They are still in the material realm. It's only Lord who is transcendental. So naturally Krishna Katha
Lord, his paraphernalia, which includes everyone, like his devotees, pastimes, abodes, everything is transcendental. But those things are also incomplete without Krishna. So that Krishna's presence, why is important, which Mataji told, that we come to know about everything through scriptures. And in scriptures, if there is no mention of Krishna, like Mahabharata, such a vast literature, at the end, Vyasdev writes that there is nothing in this world now remaining which I have not written as part of history, or any lesson which I want to give through. The whole Hitopadesh or whatever moral stories till now we have heard, everything is there in Mahabharata. And so many kings, their histories, so many things are involved in Mahabharata. But that all is nonsense if there is no mention or there is no relation about Krishna. Why? Because like Mataji told, that he is all attractive. For what purpose we all are existing here? We are existing here to, जैसे गौर गोपाल प्रभु का कई बार आपने सुना होगा, मजा आना चाहिए राइट लाइफ में. So we all are looking for that maja. What is that maja? Anand. And Krishna is described. Rup Goswami, when he starts compiling Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there he speaks that it is Krishna who is called Akhil Rasamrit Murti. So we all are looking for that mellow, that rasa, whether it's relationship, whether it's knowledge. Even knowledge seekers, jnani, why they aspire for knowledge? Because they have that understanding that if I am intelligent, if I can understand everything, I will be very happy. Bada maja aayega. They relish the debate therefore also to prove the authority. But that maja wo hai kahan sara? So that is, Rup Goswami tells in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that Krishna is Akhil Rasamrit Murti. There is no rasa which you cannot relish in relation to Krishna. And that's what Prabhupada also writes, if we read in the purport, that any historical fact, old or new, which has a connection with the activities of the Lord is to be understood as a transcendental narration of the Lord. Without Krishna, all the supplementary literatures like the Puranas and Mahabharata are simply stories or historical facts. But with Krishna they become transcendental, and when we hear of them we at once become transcendently related with the Lord. And then Srimad Bhagavatam is also a Puran, but the special significance of this Puran is that the activities of the Lord are central and not just supplementary historical facts. So transcendental, why? Because our need is fulfilled there, right? Because whatever we try to be here or become here, that is for our enjoyment we are looking for. But that enjoyment is also unfulfilled if we are just going for sensory enjoyment or sense gratification. Why? Because it will last temporarily and we will not be satisfied. But as soon as Krishna is there, there is that affection attachment, and that affection or attachment liberates us because he is Akhil Rasamrit Murti. So there could be personalities who are transcendental like devotees of Lord, but if their connection is not shown with Krishna, then we will not feel fulfilled. Like we see there is pastime of Mathura Leela. So there very elaborately has been described that when he was in the arena about to fight, or even when he was fighting with Chandur, Mustik, even Kamsa, almost all his friends except gopis and mothers like Mataji is from Braj, everyone was there, elderly gop, his father, friends, and they were able to relish all those 12 rasas, 5 primary and 7 secondaries. Everything could be sensed and experienced by them, and they became super jubilant. Why? Because there was Krishna, and he is the only person who is Akhil Rasamrit Murti. Otherwise, if some other person is there, he could give some enjoyment, but not everything, like not all those 12 rasas in full. It's only Krishna who can make it. And then in it becomes transcendental in that way. Attraction is not there. What is the prime, like Rup Goswami says, what is the prime currency to purchase Krishna? Yes? Greed. Who? Somebody told greed? Or what? So greed, that lolyam. Lolyam for Krishna is actually the currency to purchase him. So somehow or other, whatever we are doing, that is to develop that greed within the jiva, desire to have association of Krishna. So that greed will take us to the platform of proper sadhan bhakta, and from sadhan bhakta to raganuga, like what all the devotees are there, Brajvasis, right? And it all starts from what? From hearing topics about Krishna. So as much as we read or hear Srimad Bhagavatam, this core theme would again and again would be touched, that hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. Hearing, and especially hearing about what? Krishna Katha. So we see in second canto there is like Sukdev Goswami is telling that what is the meaning of the ears? What is the meaning of having these ears if there is no desire to hear about Krishna? It would be otherwise remain like holes of snake, like there is snake living inside, which is just about to hiss and just about to bite, and will be bound here. But if there is desire to hear Krishna, then these ears are important for us, right? So that's what is the core theme throughout the Bhagavatam, and that's what we are doing. Seniors are inspiring here. Prabhuji would have been, he would be inspiring all of us. Although I am of no use to speak on this exalted matter. So that's what devotees are doing through their example, that they are setting the example, that hearing just by sitting in the Bhagavatam class, hearing, sometimes it might be we are tired, sometimes it might be, there is a pastime of our, whose photo we put on Rath Yatra card, I'm just missing name, Jayanand Prabhu. So there are many pastimes. If you read about two books are there in which you find a lot about him. One book is directly written about Jayanand Prabhu by one devotee who stayed at San Francisco. I'm missing name. And second book which tells about that person, the devotee is as our Shyam Sundar Prabhu. Yeah, Chasing the Rhinos is the book, 2 volumes. So if you read there, many times it happened that if somebody used to sleep, then Prabhupada would chastise sometimes. Chastise, or he'll do something that devotees are woke up. But there were certain devotees that if there was anything, like Jayanand Prabhu's case, there are 2-3 instances where he came in the class, he was sitting, mostly sitting in the front row at back, wherever, and he was, just drowsy and he was just going down, feeling very sleepy. And Prabhupada in between the class is saying that somebody trying to, wake him up. Prabhupada stopped that devotee, stop it, let him take rest. Because he used to do so much service throughout the day that Prabhupada felt, oh, he might not have taken rest. But for others, he used to wake up. So what I'm trying to establish here, that Prabhupada understood the value of this. Just while sitting, transformation will happen. And there is a famous conversation also with Prabhupada, some reporters. Some person had come, and generally, if somebody comes in the challenging way, there would be certainly there would be thing that he'll challenge with his questions, or he'll definitely show some faults at your end. So there is a discussion. I do not remember exactly, but I remember the theme, so that's what I'll be sharing. So there is a discussion and Prabhupada is giving class. At the end, he asks some questions and there is a back and forth discussion. And in between he's asking, but what is the use of all this setup of hearing? And I found that most of your students here, fellows, they sit in the class. What would happen from such hearing? What would happen from such sharing of knowledge? Then Prabhupada, what did he reply? He told that, see, even if they are hearing and if they are able to hear just 5-10%, you see the transformation in each one of them. So just think, if they're able to attend fully, what kind of transformation will have. So which means this method works. So even if they are sleeping, it's okay, because they are present here, they're putting their endeavor, whatever is best. That's what we should have aspiration to hear perfectly. It should not be that we are thinking, oh, neend aa rahi to bhi baith jao. So that should not be we are compromising, but sometimes there could be the situation. But the process is so powerful that just by sitting in the class, there would be guaranteed deliverance. Now coming to the second part. Second part in this, if we see, Prabhupada, as he used to always tell his devotees, especially those who are very aspiring for hearing Radha Krishna pastimes. So Prabhupada used to say that if you have desire to go directly into the 10th canto, then there is no time that within few days or few months you would be falling from your situation. Why? Because if we are having that we want to relish directly Krishna Katha, but since we have not gone through steps, we have not developed that mood of serving him in the mood of as a servant, considering him as our master, then those pastimes which are there in the close friendship or in conjugal love, there is no hope we'll be able to understand, because our experience is mundane. we'll understand those pastimes also what? Mundane, like some relationship between a boy and a girl, and that will make us misunderstand Krishna or underestimate his pastimes. And by doing so, we'll do the offense. So when Krishna is giving transcendental knowledge, he is establishing this fact. Janma karma shame divyam evam yo veti tattvata. So the very worth of Krishna and what to speak of karma, we cannot understand so easily. It's impossible from our own understanding, putting our own efforts. Athapi te deva padambujadvaya प्रसादलेशानुग्रहीत एव हि जानाति तत्त्वं भगवन् महिम्नो. Here Brahma ji is saying when he is worshipping Krishna after that incident of stealing the calves, he is praying that athapi te deva padam bhujadvaya. There is no hope for any other person if he travels with the speed of mind for millions of years. There is no hope for him, for such a person, to understand even a little about Krishna or his activities or pastime. What is the then method? Athapi te deva padam bhujadvaya. Only hope, athapi, only hope is that he be considered that those two lotus feet are the only shelter, and prasad leshanu grahit evi. First, he has to accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And secondly, he has to receive it as a prasad, mercy. Not by my own endeavor I have understood Krishna. Then only there is a possibility then he will be able to understand. Similarly, all this literature, whatever has been written, anyway we cannot understand much. Third canto, fifth canto, so much description about planetary systems. Very little goes inside, and even if it goes, 1,000 new question comes. How is it possible? ये कैसे planet यहाँ हो सकता है, वो कहाँ कैसे हो सकता है? And so many theories also come. Flat Earth, sphere Earth. So many. Even if you try to understand, question comes. Then what is the solution? Only solution is this: that first we establish within our heart this core principle that Krishna is my master, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And secondly, whatever we want to learn, it would be possible when we consider everything, even understanding of Bhagavatam, as a mercy of devotees and Krishna. Prasad leshanu grahit evi. Leshanu. Even this much we understand as the mercy, then that small thing will make the whole understanding very clear. So that is the principle. There is a class of less intelligent devotees of the Bhagavad Puran who desire to relish at once the activities of the Lord, narrated in the 10th canto. Even I'm not sure how much you have been in that culture, but if somebody is from north or they have seen culture around, there is Saptahik Bhagavatam Karyakram. With my own little experience, whatever I have observed, anyone can add it or correct me. Very first day there would be worship of Bhagavatam, establishment of Bhagavatam, so much glorification and everything. The very next day they have the whole plan for 10th canto only. कैसे कृष्ण का जन्म हुआ, यशोदा मैया आ रही हैं, फिर उनको कहाँ से जेल से उनको लेके जाया जा रहा है ब्रज में, और फिर ब्रज की लीलाएं चालू हो जाती हैं. So that we can understand, it's very general, very general outside. They directly want to go into the pastimes of Krishna, and immediately then pastime comes, they'll make feel people emotional, crying those scenes when Krishna is going away from Vrindavan to Mathura. So those like Vivaha, Rukmani, Mangalam. So there is importance for these things, but to relish that, it's not our condition that we'll be saying that, oh, I'll relish that. First, you try to understand the principles or Bhagavatam principles. Like Prabhupada classes, if we see, today when I was referring Prabhupada class here, two things only he touched throughout. I have wrote those things. So what are those two things which Prabhupada throughout, it was just short class, 25 to 30 minutes. And what he was doing, just two things he established. First thing he established this only, that how rascals outside, he used this word, how rascals outside, they are just directly going into this internal pastime of Krishna Katha. Because he understood that there is discussion of Krishna Katha. So first he told about this, then he spoke about Krishna Katha further. What is the importance of Krishna Katha, hearing, how it is transcendental, and how other Puranas are incomplete. And what first he ensured that no, you have not to. It does not mean Krishna Patha. You have to go to the 10th canto. This is also Krishna Katha. What we are discussing right now, what is going on. So this we need to understand that Krishna Katha does not mean those pastimes which Krishna performed. Krishna Katha means in relation to Krishna. In relation to Krishna means everything. Birth of Parikshit Maharaj, activities of Pandu Putranam. Otherwise, it would be political, some agenda of writing those things. No, but it is in relation to Krishna, therefore it is fully transcendental. And then there is discussion. Krishna and his pure devotees, like the Pandavas, are on the same plane. This is another principle which we need to establish within our heart. This is something, if not clear, then so many offenses happen. So what does it mean? Anyone would like to share their experience, this line, that how Krishna and his pure devotees, like the Pandavas, are on the same plane? What does it mean? What, they should be worshipped same, or they should be like here we do not do on the altar, we have some hierarchy. So what does it mean exactly? Yes, Varun Prabhu was trying to share. What does it mean? Okay.
Prabhuji, I was just trying to say that we have to respect the devotees in the same way as Lord Krishna, because if we don't pay them the same kind of respect, then we are ultimately, our aim is to become non-envious. So we can't be envious. If we pay respect to a devotee on a lesser scale than some other devotee, or than the Lord himself, somewhere in our heart we are trying to be, we are being envious. So that is something we have to cultivate. We have to remove it from our heart, and then we have to treat everybody as equals.
Thank you very much for it. Very nice points. Yes, Mataji. Okay, Syamavali Mataji wants to share.
So, Krishna always resides in the hearts of the pure devotees. So, we should not. So, obviously, if we not respect Krishna, or if we want to love Krishna, then we have to love all the things that he loves. That is one thing. And because Krishna always resides in the heart of his devotees, that means they are equivalent to Krishna. They are always carrying Krishna in their heart. So there is no question of disrespecting them.
Yeah, very nice. Tomara Hridaye Sada Govinda Vishnu Govinda Kahena Mora Vaishnava Param. So this is the principle our Acharya has given. And when there is a discussion about Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, then when there is no shelter for Durvasa Muni because he has offended the dearmost devotee of Lord. So he's going up to the Vishnu and immediately same thing he says. I do not know anything except my devotees. And they do not know anything except me. Why? Because I am always residing in their heart, and therefore they are always within my heart. I have no other, agenda just to accept pleasing my devotee, and they have no other agenda except pleasing me. So that is the principle here. So very nice point shared by devotees. Yes, Puji, Kaushal, same. So these are very wonderful principles. I was going to speak actually what Varun Prabhu spoke, and this is also a wonderful point. So in my mind, this thought was going on that what Puji told, that whenever we are not paying respect, there is that little, something wrong in our understanding consciousness that ये इतने भी अच्छे नहीं है, थोड़ा तो मैं इनसे अच्छा हूँ. There is some superiority complex within us. I personally have found that sometimes devotee offer respects, and if I found I am not able to, either there's a conflict, like I'm doing something, okay, chalta hai, or secondly I observed that there is something otherwise I have misunderstood or underestimated that other devotee. Oh, ठीक है, उससे तो junior ही है. That kind of thought immediately goes, which means we are impure. That's why we are not able to pay respect. So when we speak same plane, this is the point what Varun told, that it's all about respect. Like Prabhupada, there is a conversation when Prabhupada devotees asked, Prabhupada, you have told that we should worship, like first initiation he gave, then there's discussion between our Keithanand Swami Maharaj and Prabhupada, that Keith at that time. Prabhupada, you told that we have to worship you as Krishna. So we should also offer all the artis and everything and daily worship and have Charnamrit and all. So Prabhupada first told yes. And then there is a part then Prabhupada that further told, but you have not to misunderstood. Guru means representative of Krishna. So when we speak about treating at equal plane means giving all that respect and facilities, whatever possible we are trying to provide to Krishna. So that mood should be same of respecting that I am nothing, he is my master. In that same spirit, Prabhupada established we all call others Prabhujis and Matajis. What does it mean? Prabhuji means my master, which means master means Prabhupada. Of course, this was in lecture. Prabhuji means you are everything and I am nothing, which means I am servant. So with that mood, devotees are always at the same plane. Right? Then Krishna is not without his devotees of all the rasas. And the pure devotees like the Pandavas are not without Krishna. The devotees and the Lord are interlinked and they cannot be separated. This is just English translation of what Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, in that episode, Lord Vishnu and Durvasa Muni is having, transaction that I know nothing, they know nothing, I'm always residing within their heart, they always reside in my heart. There is no question, which means I am fully purchased and fully controlled by my devotees. I have no control over me. So you are asking me to forgive. How can I forgive? Because I have no authority to forgive you because you have offended him. I am serving him. How can I say that he has forgiven you? Therefore I will forgive you. I cannot provide protection, which means you have to go to that devotee. So there is a course, wonderful course, which His Holiness Bhagat Bhagavad Swami Maharaj conducts, which is Vaishnav Sadachar. So there he does this activity very elaborately because this is the biggest obstacle in the life of devotee. What? That many times because of misunderstanding, communication, or ego tussles, or whatever we call, ultimately it's our lower nature. We commit offenses. So committing offenses is one thing, but we are not able to resolve it properly in a Vaishnava way. That tinge or that envy or that malice always there. So he conducts this wonderful activity, and those who would have attended, they felt that he asked devotees, is there anyone among you to whom you have offended, you felt offended? So for both the things you have to forget. If you have offended, you remember that you have to go and ask for forgiveness. But more than that is that if you felt ever offended, you have to internally also tell Krishna that I might have felt like that, but it was not big. Please forgive that devotee. Because keeping that thing is also like a malice or lower nature. Because we are not able to think better for that devotee in that case. He could have been at fault, but that will not release him from the bondage. So it is very important. Envy, always lasts. And it all happens for devotees among devotee circle only. So that activity I really relished. I went to those devotees, I asked forgiveness, and devotees are so merciful. He also, said, nahi, nahi, Prabhu, kuch hua hi nahi. So that's very wonderful. We can practice that. At least anything happens among devotees with whom we're living, we should be ready, we should be eager to resolve it as quickly as possible. There could be heated debates, there could be different opinions, but that should be the purpose. Understanding the stature of devotees, that how dear they are for Lord, right? So this is what Prabhupada shared, and I was trying to share from this purport. Besides this, one more thing I was just trying to share, that is the pastime from the case of Bali Maharaj. So this is this same theme, like devotees are same, and how Krishna Katha is so powerful that it can purify everyone and anyone. We have heard so many verses, right? Like Aho batasva pachito gariyan yah jivagre vartate nam tubhyam te pustapuste jobu shashnu ararya, which means even the dog eaters can be relieved. They are better than the Brahmanas. That is the established authority for a devotee, that if they had taken a birth, or they would have been even doing that work of eating dog or killing animals. But if they have taken shelter of holy name, if they have taken shelter of a guru, then they are far better than anyone else outside. Compared to that other devotee could be even a Brahmana or first class Brahmana, Vedic Brahmana, but there is no comparison between a Brahmana and a devotee in that case. So in that same connection, we see that episode of Shukracharya and Bali Maharaj. So what happened there? That Bali Maharaj understood that there is Lord has come, and he knew this fact was clear within his heart that now whatever happens, I am supposed to serve and please that person. Not because he was Brahmana, that was not the ultimate goal. Some people misunderstand कि ब्राह्मण था तो जो बोल दिया तो देना ही नहीं. He understood he is Lord. because शुक्राचार्य बोले कि सब लेने के लिए आए हैं, तो उन्हें बोला और अच्छी बात है क्योंकि भगवान आए हैं, so I have opportunity to please him. But in that episode, Sukracharya somehow got offended. So then there is discussion between Sukracharya and Lord Vishnu also, and there is a reference in 8th canto, 23rd chapter and 16th verse, where this famous verse comes. It's so nice, you can remember also. It's very famous. मंत्रतस्तंत्रतश्छिद्रं देशकालारवस्तुतः सर्वं करोति निश्छिद्रम् अनुसंकीर्तनम तव. अनुसंकीर्तनम तव. यदि उनका भगवान का यदि कोई अनुसंकीर्तन, not only संकीर्तन, what is it? अनुसंकीर्तन, like अनुशीलनम in the famous verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. अनुसंकीर्तन means नहीं अपने मन से भजन करने लगे. Established process by acharyas or the guru parampara. अनुसंकीर्तन तव, यदि उनका हम अनुसंकीर्तन करते हैं भगवान का, then what happens? मंत्रतस् तंत्रतस् छिद्रम देश कालार अवस्तुतः. किसी भी स्थिति में, किसी भी मंत्र में, किसी भी तंत्र से, किसी भी जगह यदि कोई प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है और कोई भी कार्य निष्फल हो जाता है, उसका जो इम्पोर्टेंस है, उसका जो उद्देश्य है वो बिगड़ जाता है. There is this only one hope. What? If somehow we do that act, or if we act in a way that it is for pleasing whom? Vishnu or Krishna, then everything, whatever the deficiencies are there, they are covered. What is that? Sarvam karoti nischidram. जितने भी होल है सारे भगवान क्या कर देंगे? होल को फिल कर देंगे, right? और पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि होल थे यहाँ पे. That's how Krishna is. So that is the power. And what happens after that? There is a special case now. So this verse he is speaking in the connection, not this is verse is spoken by whom? Sukracharya. And now why he is speaking this verse? He didn't have that much affection or respect for Lord. He immediately told करे worship नहीं करना. आज जैसे बलि महाराज ने मना किया, what did he say? If you do not act what I have spoken, तुम्हारा जो भी है सब चला जाएगा. It was like a curse given. कि जो भी तुमने अभी तक सब लिया सब चला जाएगा, मैं कर्ज देता हूँ. Like that he told. And what did Lord Vishnu did or Vaman Dev did? He came, he took all things away from him, and ultimately what did he bestow? Better than that. इंद्र को तो स्वर्गलोक दिया, but उससे भी opulent क्या होता है? सुतल. So he gave Sutal to whom? Bali Maharaj. Not only that, he told personally, I would reside with my Sankh, Gada, Chakra and everything. I will guard your kingdom. And not only that, after that you will achieve me again. And you will become what you had desired. Now, like Dhruv Maharaj's case, he had desired to rule. So to purify what Krishna did, he gave him 36,000 years to practice. You practice, while doing so you will become pure because you had that material desire to rule over. And finally you will get that what you wanted. And you will be fully purified. In the same case here, he told that rule there, but ultimately you desire to become heaven, king. Like we have read, Manu है जो 14 मनु आते हैं ब्रह्मा जी के एक दिन में, उनमें इंद्र बनते हैं अलग अलग, राइट? He is going to be next Indra. He gave him that benediction, and then after speaking this, to Bali Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj was also there because Bali Maharaj's grandson, they were all present seeing the glorious act of Bali Maharaj, full surrender. This was like a किसी को मतलब अच्छे से समझाना है तो क्या किया जाता है, थोड़ा सा कहते हैं ना चुटकी ले लेते हैं, थोड़ा सा मतलब इस तरह से बोला जाता है कि थोड़ा पिंच हो. तो भगवान की तरफ मुड़ते हैं, शुक्राचार्य की तरफ, और बोलते हैं अब आपका क्या बोलना है? आप बोल रहे थे कि कुछ नहीं मिलेगा इनको. सो फर्स्ट ही हैज गिवन बून टू बलि महाराज के जाओ वहां पे राज्य करो, वो चले गए. एंड नाउ ही टर्न टुवर्ड्स द ब्राह्मणस जिनकी असेंबली में शुक्राचार्य एंड इज सेइंग कि अब बोलो, कुछ बोल रहे थे आप कि बलि महाराज को ऐसा हो जाएगा वैसा हो जाएगा नाउ. So then he understood. Then in that mood of his kind of understanding, I have done mistake. Then he speaks this verse कि भगवान मैं समझ गया हूँ, कोई भी कार्य हो यदि उसमें आप हैं तो कितने भी छेद हो वो सारे छेद निद्रम किए जा सकते हैं. So that is the glory of keeping Krishna in the center. And keeping Krishna in the center means there is no difference between Krishna and his devotees. So that was the theme which Prabhupada has discussed here, and I could relate with. If anyone is having any question, they can ask. Hare Krishna. Anyone online or present here? Okay. Any feedback or corrections, please? I am also open for that.
Not a question, but just
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Not a question, but
Yeah.
just a comment. Actually, a long time I had this question in my mind. I mean, regarding we keep hearing about importance of Krishna Katha, but in that session we hear the importance of Krishna Katha. I had always a difference between what is Krishna Katha and what we are hearing. The importance of Krishna Katha are two different things. But today, when you explained it, got them clear that you know uh, even the importance of Krishna Katha is also Krishna Katha, because when we are when we are speaking about the importance, we are quoting different personalities who are associated with Krishna, and So thank you, Prabhu. That's just a small comment.
Thank you, Prabhu. I also came to know about this while reading again and again that there is no difference. Thank you very much, Prabhu.